All right, applications involving percents, ratio and proportion. Okay, that is our next topic. Okay, so the thing about this section is a lot of times students will get very frustrated with this because percents and stuff like that, sometimes they can throw people off. What I want people to try to understand with this video is I don't want them to just understand a formula that a lot of teachers throw at in this class. I know for a fact they throw this stuff with base and percent and all this stuff in it. And I'm going to try to take all that out. And I just want you to understand what is being asked. If you understand what's being asked, you don't need any formula. You can just dive right in and just solve the problem, okay? It's going to be much simpler if you ask me. All right, so the first problem. What number is 30% of 50? Okay, what number is, okay, so look, what number x is means equal, what number is 30% of 50? So that word of means multiplication, okay? So it says 30%, we need to write that as a decimal. So 0.3 times 50. And that is it, okay? What number is 30% of 50? And then you just multiply that guy out, which I'll end up doing the first few by hand, but eventually I'll probably just use a calculator. Now, you should not be using a calculator. I'm just doing that for time purposes in the video. But, okay, so we got 50.3, we're multiplying that, 0 times 3 is 0, that is 15, okay, so you're going to move the decimal ones, so x is 15. So what that means is 30% of 50 is 15. Okay, cool. You know it always starts pretty simple and it gets a little trickier. Let's see, number 2. It says 9% of what number, remember of is multiplication, is, keyword, I probably sound stupid, but I'm just trying to stress specific words, so is 18, okay? So 9%, remember, you're gonna rewrite 9% as a decimal, and that is gonna be 0.09. So it says 9% of what number? That's times what number, x, is 18. Okay, again, I'll reread the problem. 9% of multiplication, what number, x, is means equals 18. That is it. No formulas involved, nothing. Just, boom, straight to the point. And then you just solve for x. You're going to divide this by 0.09. Divide this by 0.09. And x is going to equal, just going to punch this in my calculator for you guys, 18 divided by 0.09. 18 divided by 0.09 is 200. Okay? And you should be able to know how to do that by hand because not all teachers let you use a calculator. So you gotta work your brain a little bit, okay? So do that by hand, make sure you know that. Okay, so what that is saying is 9% of 200, 9% of what number, which we found to be 200. So 9% of 200 is 18. All right, next one. Okay, now the next one, it says, what percent of 30 is 20? So what percent, I'm going to call percent, in this case P, you can call it X, you can call it whatever you want. What percent of times 30 is 20? And you just solve for that guy. So divide both sides by 30. P is going to equal, you can cross those zeros off. You have 2 over 3. Now, remember, P is a percent though. That's the one thing here. You need a percent. So to turn this into a percent, what you have to do is you have to multiply by 100. Okay? So, with that being said, you're going to have, actually, let's do it this way. I'll show you a much easier way to do it, okay? 2 over 3, what you want to do is you want to change that into a decimal. So you're just going to divide it longhand, okay? And what you do, so the bottom number always goes on the outside, and you're going to divide this guy. So 3 doesn't go into 2, so what you have to do is you have to bring a decimal up, add a 0. How many times does 3 go into 20? It's going to go in 6 times, which is going to be 18. Subtract that, you get 2. Add a 0, bring it down. You have 20 again, so it's going to be 6. Which would be 18. Subtract, I think you see what's going on. It's going to be 0.6666666. Okay, so we're just going to stop at 0.667. Okay, so P right now is equal to 0.667. So check it out. To turn this decimal into a percent, all you're going to do is you're just going to move the decimal twice to the right. So your percent is going to be 66.7%. Okay? Cool. And that is it. That's how you do number 3. Number 4. Get into longer problems now. Not longer, I mean the paragraph is bigger. There are 8,574 female students at a certain college. If 60% of all students are female, what is the total enrollment of the college? Okay, so this one is going to make us think a little bit more. Okay, so there's a total of 8,574 female students at a college. If 60% of the students are female, okay, so 60% of them are, what's the total enrollment of that college? Well, we can say 60%, which is 0.6, multiplied by, this is going to be the total people at the college. The total people at the college, we don't know how many people are at the college, we just know how many females there are, okay? So it's if 60% of the total amount of students there would equal 8,574. Okay? Apologize if it's picking up the squeak. My marker decided to pretend to be a squirrel or something. So, yeah. So I hope this makes sense. X is the total of people at the college. We don't know that. But we do know that 60% of them, so you multiply the total by 60%, which is 0.6, 60% of them is going to be 8,574, which is the amount of females at that school, okay? So if you have to, pause this video, reread the problem, should be somewhere around here, and make sure you understand this setup, which correlates with this problem. And then you just solve it, okay? So none of the solving in this video should be too complicated, okay? So you got that. Again, do it by longhand, and if you don't know how to do it by longhand, go find my video on it, because then it'll explain that. But since, save some time, I'm just going to put it in here. 8,574 divided by 0.6 is that number right there. Alright, so the total amount of students at the college is 14,290 students. And then always double check and make sure that's what they're asking for. What's the total enrollment at the college? Yeah. Boom. So this is the total amount of people at that college. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Alright. Just keep chugging through these guys. Number 5. An art collector bought a lithograph for $2,500. After 3 years, the lithograph was valued at $3,800, so it increased in value. Find the percent increase in the value of the lithograph over the 3 years. Okay, so what you're going to have to do is you're first going to have to figure out how much in value did it increase. So we went from 2,500 after 3 years, it was worth $3,800, right? Not too bad. It never hurts to have something that increases in value, right? It's like investing 101. So, the first thing you got to do is you got to figure out how much did it increase. Well, from here to here, I believe that's 1,300, okay? So it increased positive $1,300. Okay, it increased $1,300. So then, you're just going to say, because it says, find the percent increase in the value. So you're going to say, what percent, we're going to call it P, okay, of the original value that you bought it at, 2,500, is going to equal the 1,300. So what percent of the original cost equals how much it increased by, okay? So basically you're just trying to find the percent of the original value, and that has to equal the amount it increased, and whatever percent that is, that's going to be the percent increase that, from 2,500 to 3,800, okay? So again, just make sure that this makes sense to you, okay? Let me break it down one more time. We bought it at 2,500, it increased to 3,800, okay? Over that three-year period, it increased in value by $1,300, okay? So you're going to say, what percentage of the original value is going to equal how much it increased in value, okay? And whatever that is, that's going to be your percent increase. With that being said, you just divide over 2,500. Okay, that goes away. P equals, well, these zeros can go off, so you got 13 over 25. Why do that? 13 over 25, okay? So, in this case, you're just gonna, because remember, we're trying to find a percentage, okay? A percentage. So we got a fraction, we need to change that into a percentage. So just multiply this by 100, okay? Because in this case, you can just cross reduce, so it's much easier to do that this time. Like, if you remember about 2 problems ago, what we did was we first found the decimal version, and then just moved the decimal twice to find the percentage. You can do that, but in this case, it just seems easier, because 25 and 100 reduce very, very nicely for us, because 25 goes into 25 once, and 25 goes into 100 4 times. So your percent is going to equal 13 times 4. 13 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 1 times 4 is 4, plus that is 52. So, moral of the story. His lithograph increased a total of 52% in value over a 3-year period. Not too bad, okay? And that's number 5. Cool. Still got quite a few problems here, but let's just do them. All right, number 6. All right, I think you guys are gonna like this problem. This problem can actually be applied in real life. That's why I say you guys might actually like this one, because math can be applied in real life. I always get that question, where can math be applied? Why am I taking this math class, etc.? Well, for one, you're taking the math class because it's not just about the math, it's about wiring your brain to be able to think logically, to be able to, in simple terms, solve problems. Solving problems is a very, very valuable tool. And the good thing about problem solving is if you're a good problem solver, companies will pay you very good money and give you a very good position in their company to solve the problems, okay? So a little bit of motivation for you guys, I hope. So, on to number 6. A department store is having a 30% off sale. Pretty cool. So all prices have been reduced by 30% of the original price. If a robe, was originally priced at $38.50, what is the sale price after the 30% discount? Okay? So the first thing you've got to do is you just got to find what 30% of the original price is. And when you got to find something like that, we know, so we'll say our discount, we'll just call it D. You can call it anything you want, X, it doesn't matter. I'm going to call it D for discount. When you're trying to find a percentage off of something, that's like the easiest type. All you're going to do is you're going to take your 30%, 0.3, remember you change it into a decimal, and you're going to multiply that by the original price, which is 38.50, and whatever this is, that is going to be 30% off. That is going to be the 30% off, okay? So, get my handy dandy pink calculator. So we got 0.3 times 38.5, and we get 11.55. Okay, so this is 30% off of that. So what this is telling you is if this is the original price and this is 30% off, that's how much money you'll be saving. If you bought the robe right now at the 30% off sale, you would be saving $11.55. So that is not how much you're paying, that is how much you're saving. Okay, so we're not done yet because the original question is, what's the sale price? So what you have to do is you take the original price here, doesn't look like an 8, $38.50, and you're going to subtract the $11.55, okay? And when you do that, 38.5 minus 11.55 is $26.95. $26.95. With that being said, the new price of your robe and the price of staying warm after a shower was $26.95. Okay? And that can be definitely applied in real life, okay? So if you want to have some fun with this and you're going shopping, you know, instead of just going and buying some stuff, do some mental problems, you know? And we all have cell phones. Cell phones have calculators. Do some math and see some stuff on sale and actually figure out the price. And, you know, it might be kind of cool for you or have your kids do it. And just you can go shopping and have kind of a little educational / shopping experience, okay? Maybe it's not as cool as I think it is, but... All right, number 7. Number 7. Oh man, this is a long one. All right. Amanda had some spare cash and decided to invest in an account that paid 6% annual interest. Her friend John found an account that paid 7% interest and invested $6,000 more in that account than Amanda did in her account. If the pair earned a total of $1,750 in interest from the two accounts in 1 year, how much did Amanda invest? And how much did John invest? Okay, so we got Amanda here. Amanda the investor. We got John here the investor. So Amanda, her thing paid 6%. So 6% is 0.06, and we don't know how much she invested. We don't know that. So whatever, so her earnings is going to be 0.06, 6%, times whatever she invested, okay? Which we don't know what she invested. It could be, it could be any number really. And then it says John, he gets 7% interest, which is 0.07, but it says he invested $6,000 more than Amanda. So you're going to multiply that 7% interest by however much she invested plus an additional $6,000. Okay? And the total, let's call that T for total, earned $1,750. So we got all of our information. Okay? The first thing that Amanda invested in, we don't know how much she invested in. How much capital, how much money she gave this firm. But we do know that she's collecting 6% interest rate on that. John invested the same amount plus 6. I shouldn't say the same. I mean, whatever she did plus 600, that's where X plus 6,000 came from. Apologize. And you're going to multiply that by the 0.07 interest that he is collecting. And we know that the total earned should add up to this. So what you do is you're just going to say Amanda's 0.06x plus John's, which is 0.07x plus 6,000, should equal, after 1 year, this is how much money that they've made in total off of their investments, okay? So again, understand the setup, because the math isn't difficult. I'm pretty sure that we're all decent at arithmetic. The setup is always the difficult part. So make sure you understand the setup. Okay. With that being said, you're just going to solve now for x. So distribute this guy. We got 0.06x plus 0.07x plus, my plus sign keeps looking like x's, plus whatever that is. So 0.07 times our 6,000 is 420. Okay. Equals 1750. So these are like terms. You can just add those guys. We'll just do that here real quick. 0.07 plus 0.06. 7 plus 6 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13, we're adding this. And this is going to be 1, bring down the decimal. So that's going to be 0.13x plus 420 equals 1750. Yeah, and I know we've been doing math for a while. We're almost done. But man, I feel like there should be some music in here. Cue the music. Relaxing, right? Alright, let's get back to the math. Alright, so subtract 420. We got 0.13x equals, we got 1750, subtracting 420, we get 1330. Divide by your 0.13 over here. We get x equals, take that, divide by 0.13. Let's make sure that's right. Alright, so the first account we have 10,230.8, but let's just round this to a 1 here. Okay, so what you get in the calculator is you get 10,230.7. So I'm just going to round this up to the nearest dollar value. So that is Amanda. This is how much Amanda invested. Because remember, the X represents Amanda's investment. So she invested $10,231 into her account. So now we got to find John's. And to do that, you just plug it into this expression, or I'm sorry, you just do it here. You don't worry about that. You're just going to say whatever this is plus 6,000, and that is how much John invested, okay? So John's investment, we'll just call that J. John's investment is, it should be something like $16,231. You know, put some dollar signs on that guy. Okay, so all I did to find John's was I just added 6,000 to that. Okay, does that make sense? So that's pretty good. Kind of a small investment, or a small profit, but seems like that's what we get these days, huh? It is what it is. All right. Whew, that was a tough one. I think this next problem you're gonna like, because it's gonna look a lot less intimidating. Number 8, we're just gonna solve this proportion. 3 over 4 equals n over 8. Solve. That's it. No words. No words in this guy. So when you see something like this is a proportion. A proportion is basically just a ratio. Like 3 over 4 is to n over 8. So what you do here is you're just going to cross multiply. Okay? You can do what's called cross multiplication. So 4 times n is 4n, and that's going to equal 3 times 8, which is 24. Divide by 4. N is going to equal, n is going to equal 6. And that is it. So in order to keep this proportion, equivalent, n has to equal 6. All right, final problem. Final problem. Studies show that 2 out of 9 people are left-handed. 2 out of 9, okay? So we got 2 out of 9. In a sample of 216 people, how many would be left-handed according to these studies, okay? Well, it says 2 out of 19. Now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to write a proportion here. So 2 is to 19 is going to be x is to 216, okay? So in order to keep this proportion similar, because it's asking how many would be left-handed according to the study if they did a sample of 216 people, okay? So this is how many are left-handed out of a total of 9 people. This is how many people are left-handed if there's a total of 216 people, okay? But we don't know that number. So you set up this proportion, and you solve it exactly like our last problem. So you're going to cross multiply. 9 times x is 9. X is equal to 2 times 216 should be 432. And then just divide by 9. Divide by 9. And x is going to equal 432 divided by 9 is 48. 48. So what this is saying is in order to keep this proportion the same, out of a study of 216 people, 48 of those people are left-handed. And that concludes our applications involving percents and ratios and proportions video. If you like this video, if you learned a lot, please share it with your friends and please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.